So in this video, I'm going to take you back into 2024 and I'm going to look with you into a service that is called CodeConnections on AWS, which, to be honest, I haven't really known that it exists. So let me have a look and let me know what you think. So this is the announcement that actually triggered my interest to look at CodeConnections in more details, because you can now share your CodeConnections across your organization. I think this is something that is going to be now really beneficial. Previously, I needed to manage all of my connections in all of the AWS accounts where I wanted to use them. Now in an organization, I can set up the connection on the very top level, and then I can use the AWS Resource Access Manager to share my resources. We're going to look at that now. Before we go into those details and try to set up a code connection, let's first understand if CodeConnections is available in all of the regions worldwide. So as we can see, today AWS has, as of today, I think 36 regions in total. They are all available within multiple availability zones, of course. There is a global footprint. If we now look at the available CodeConnections endpoints today, and if you count through this list, right, you will see that there is only, I think, 18 regions that are currently supported by CodeConnections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, right? This means CodeConnections is not available globally, and I'm eager to understand why it's not. So if you know why CodeConnections is not available in all of the available commercial regions worldwide, please let me know. We can also see that there is a maximum number of connections per account, which per default is set to 250, and this can be increased if required. So if you're managing a lot of AWS regions, a lot of AWS CodeConnections that you need, you can actually increase that to a higher level. Okay, so now we looked at the overall thing. Let's have a look on how to set this up. So let's start with taking you back into 2024, where actually we see that the AWS CodeStar Connections have been renamed to CodeConnections. So this is actually the service that I'm going to talk about today. To be honest, I have used it, but I never thought that it's really a real true service today, right? So in short, AWS CodeConnections gives you the possibility to integrate Git-based source providers, just as GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, integrate them with your AWS account, gives you the possibility to set up the connection to those, and you can also then manage the connections across your organization and ensure that other services like CloudFormation, CodeBuild, CodePipeline can actually access your GitHub repository that is not on AWS, which as of 2025, it's pretty important as code commit doesn't exist anymore. So AWS does not have a self-managed or managed Git provider anymore that can be used within your AWS account. So let's have a closer look. Okay, I am in the AWS Console and I am in one of the supported regions, I hope. Let's see if we can find this. I think I need to go to the developer console or something like that. That is interesting. It's really hard to find the connections from here. CodeConnections. Okay, so I got lost. Let's see if we can find the service here. No. Okay, let's go back to the documentation. Creating a connection. Okay, we're going to try GitHub today. So I'm going to go to the console. So this was pretty hard for me to find. Let's see what the name is in the console. So there's a developer tools thing. As you can see, I have already set up two connections, but let's try again. If I go over here to the developer console, Oh gosh, it shouldn't be that hard to find this. Okay, anyway, so I found the way on how to get there, right? By using the URL code suite. This is pretty strange. I can now create a connection over here. So as you can see, this is in the code pipeline, code build stuff, which is strange because it is kind of called a general service and it's not. So it's, anyway, let's not talk about that. Now I'm gonna set something up, manual connection, demo. I can connect to different GitHub source providers, Git source providers. As you can see, they support Bitbucket, GitHub, GitHub Enterprise Server, GitLab, and GitLab Self-Managed as different options. I will now need to use my personal account to do the connection. I can then install an application or look at an application that I already installed in GitHub. So in this case, I have already installed one. I can now set up the connection. And with this, I have the connection now available over here. So that was pretty simple, but it assumed that I already had my app installed on GitHub. So now let's see if I can share this connection with something else. So how do I actually do that? It tells me in the documentation you can only do that with CodeConnections, and I can go to creating a resource share in the AWS RAM console. Okay, so let's try. Maybe this is easier to find. Resource Access Manager. I can go over here and I can now create a resource share. In this resource share, GitHub connection. I can now hopefully set up my code connection over here. Oh, this is strange. This is now showing me the ARN, but it's not showing me the name, and I would have loved to see the name because I actually can't remember the ARN. Okay, so I'm gonna try to remember myself what the name of this was, right? So this was the name Manual Code Connection Demo, and this has this ARN. So yeah, this is strange. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I can select this resource. And when selecting this resource, I can now say, okay, this is a managed permission. Okay, I can also use my custom condition if I want to ensure where I want to share it. I can only allow sharing within my organization. And I can add multiple principals over here. So let's see, I want to add multiple accounts. I'm going to be sharing this with this account, and then I need to press add over here, so the console is also pretty hard. And with that, I have the resource share set up. I think this is not a really helpful error message, so let me try to understand that, and then I'm going to continue to recode. So it looks like there's a setting in my root account that I need to enable. So I'm going to enable the settings of sharing within an organization to be able to access that code thing. I now enabled that setting, and then I'm going to go back to the AWS account where we were actually setting this up and see if this is now resolved. Okay, so this was a setting that was not able to be changed in my usual account, in my normal account. Now I have set that up, and maybe I can now move ahead and share that. Okay, now the resource share was created. Oh, this error message is very, very bad. Okay, now I have this shared resource, and now I should be able to access that in another account. So I'm going to quickly change the account. And I will now go to the account that I shared this with. which hopefully is now going to be able to access this one. Shared with me. Okay, there's my GitHub connection. This is actually the resource that we just set up. It now gives me the possibility to use this GitHub connection from the other account that I've set up over there. It also gives me the possibility to directly just manage the GitHub connection in one central account. And I think this is going to be pretty powerful because you don't need to set it up 100 times in wanting to set up the different connections. Cool, so we managed to test out this new functionality with some problems in setting up things in the console, but I think we did a pretty good job at that. So we have seen that AWS CodeConnections is actually a feature of a specific service that can be used to manage your connections to existing Git providers like GitHub, GitLab, or also Bitbucket. We have also seen that the service is currently only available in 18 out of 36 regions worldwide, which makes it unusable for a lot of organizations that are in other regions. But we have seen that it's now possible to share that code connection with other AWS accounts as well and other principals. So this gives you the possibility to set something up and then share it with your customer. And whenever you end your customer relationship with that customer, you can also kind of stop the sharing, and that gives you the possibility and the ownership of the code connection itself. So I think it was a good thing to look at that. I hope that this gave you some insights into how to use code connections within your own organization. And if you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments and get back to me. And I will give you answers and help and support if you have follow-up questions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.